It's the final day of the regular season as we join you from Half Hollow Hills East High School in Dix Hills, New York. Verizon Fios One Sports brings you Long Island High School girls soccer. Today, a matchup inside Suffolk County League 2. One of the top offensive teams across the county, the Smithtown West Bulls at 10-2, visiting the 3-9-1 Hills East Thunderbirds. Hi, everybody. Welcome here again to Hills East. Alongside Tracy Weiner, I'm Ralph Bednarchik. And Tracy, for Smithtown West, they are playing their final regular season game today. They are looking for the program's first county championship, determined to get there. Hills East celebrates their senior day.
Senior Day is always a very, very special day. Make no mistake about it. Hills East wants to win this game. They want to end their season on a positive note. They are bringing back a ton of players next year. But for Smithtown West, their eyes are on the prize, Ralph. They are looking to figure out ways today to get into the playoffs, get on that roll, and try to finally beat their nemesis Northport if they make it that far.
And for Smithtown West, while they are an impressive 10-2, Tracy, their two losses came at the hands of Northport. But the feeling is they have the weapons this year, namely in senior midfielder and forward Gabby Sharika, to bring them for the first time to that promised land.
Gabby is one of those special players. Gabby is playing at the next level next year in Buffalo. Not a lot of Long Island players can say that, Ralph. This is the type of player, though, that can dominate the midfield. So unselfish, such a great soccer IQ, can really take her team to that next level, and is not afraid to take the back seat when it's needed, but she also can figure out when they need to score a goal.
And for Hills East, we might be saying the same things about their future senior in the class of 2015, Christina Bolero. She plays one more game as a junior. She's going to be somebody to look out for today and next season.
We had the pleasure of seeing this young lady when we were here the last time. Bolero is one of those special talents, and you know, as a coaching staff, they are thrilled to have her back next year. She completely dominates the field. She is everywhere. We will say her name, Ralph, 15 to 20 times, probably just in the first half today.
Smithtown West looking to enter the playoffs on a high note. Hills East would love to finish out 2013 playing tough on Senior Day. We're coming back for the start of this one. Smithtown West visiting Hills East on Verizon Fios One Sports. Today's game's brought to you by Watch ESPN. It's live ESPN in your computer, tablet, and smartphone. Watch ESPN. It's the other way to watch ESPN. Go to FiosTVOnline.com for details. In Dix Hills, with Tracy Weiner, Ralph Bednarchik getting you set for the regular season finale across Long Island High School girls soccer today. Smithtown West visiting Hills East. And a look at the Smithtown West Bulls today. They'll play a 4-3-3. Bieneman and Crockett will be the center backs, with Palazzolo and D'Antona outside. Cuccia, Sheridan, and Cabello will play in the midfield. And then up top, they're awesome with Sharika centering Gibbons and Gabby Cabello. In goal, Haley Cascone is a senior. She's made just 49 saves this year, but she's a 3-year starter. Even had an assist in the earlier regular season meeting against Hills East. And the head coach, Rob Schretzmeyer, is in his 6th season coaching Smithtown West. And with this group, this is going to mark the 6th straight year that the Bulls are going to advance to the playoffs. A former great player at Hopon. And today for Half Hollow Hills East, Lentz will get the start with Schwartz. Keschner and DiNardo will be the two inside backs. Newberger, Delano, and Francucci will play in midfield. Senior Rachel Singer gets the start with Christina Bolero and Julianne Spano. In goal, Marissa Ferber, back from a broken wrist, suffered early this season. She'll make her first start of the season and likely play in just the first half as they get ready to set the stage for 2014. She'll be among them. For Coach Matt Mayo, who is now in his 4th season coaching this Hills East program and very active in the Dix Hills soccer scene, doing a lot of summer league stuff, trying to get this program going and back to the playoffs. We look ahead to this game with our Verizon 411 keys to the game.
Well, for Smithtown West, they want to play start to finish, of course, but the big thing for them is to stay healthy, Ralph, as they move into the playoffs. For Hills East, they need to set the stage for next year as of this very moment. Play inspired, work on their defensive matchups, all the little things that have haunted them for most of the season, they need to tidy up right now and jumpstart 2015.
Hills East will be in the home white over red uniforms this afternoon, playing their season finale with Woody Exton, Rick Rash being our officials today. Smithtown West, the Bulls, Navy over Navy uniforms, and we're underway. So for the Bulls, this is just part of what they hope to be a very long journey towards the Suffolk County Championship game and beyond, as they feel like they may meet up with Northport for the third time as Brittany Bieneman will concede a deep throw-in coming up for Hills East, and Christina Bolero will quickly get it in. And we'll have the throw-in coming up for Smithtown West. So kind of an unusual game. It's almost like Week 17, Tracy, of the NFL season where, you know, you're a high seed, you're going into the playoffs, and it always brings a lot of controversy. Well, how do you play this kind of game first if you're Rob Stretzmeyer, the head coach of Smithtown West, to make sure that you go into your first playoff game sharp and don't let this kind of game maybe not be as focused as you would be because you kind of have a lot of things sewn up?
You sure do, and it's such a difficult scenario. It's not even like both teams are playoff bound and they both have the same mentality. So it is a whole different spin on this. You have one team that's trying to show that they think they deserve to have been in the playoff conversation, even though they're not going to make the playoffs. You have another team that's trying to, you know, keep it together, stay healthy, and figure out how to beat Northport at the same time. So
good ball across by Sharika, and it was popped on a beautiful cross wide. And there the West Bulls almost converted. Sharika set it up beautifully on the back end before they got Gabby Cabello on that pass. But that was Sharika initially to Cabello.
Well, you see Sharika here reads the play long before the rest of her teammates, just missing that one. But again, that would have been the best case scenario of what we were just talking about, Ralph. Smithtown West scores there, gets an early lead, then they try to sit back a little bit. So I think that would be coach's philosophy at this point, is to hopefully put one or two in early and then not get into, you know, a 0-0 tussle.
And which further then probably extends the game a little bit more, and Hills East would gain some confidence, and West, as they are right now, as we mentioned in the keys, you know, it's October 23rd, but they are extremely healthy, which for female soccer teams around the country, you'd love to say that you're very healthy in your regular season finale, won't you? And they right now are in great shape from that perspective, as Alexa Sheridan was slipping here inside. And trying to get some position as Gabby Cabello was played away from her. And up ahead, here come the Thunderbirds of Hills East looking to spring out Bolero.
I'll tell you, I remember sitting with you several weeks ago, sweating, talking about the first games of the season and how quick it was going to go, Ralph. And here we are in the season finale getting ready for the playoffs. And it's been really, for me, the first full season of girls soccer. And the injuries are very, very surprising to me from a coaching perspective, from an analysis perspective, just how physical this sport is. And not just physical from contact, but physical also from just the out-and-out running, you know, the pounding that the body takes at this sport.
And the sheer wear and tear that over a course of you play a lot of games, as many as 16 in Suffolk County. That's the maximum, going from basically 9 days into September with a couple scrimmages perhaps sprinkled in there until about 20 days into October. So that is a very short window of time, as Smithtown West will have the throw-in coming up deep in the offensive third.
Most of these young ladies also play for their either town or club teams, and so they're playing even after practice. It's just, and the weather's been beautiful, so not much has been canceled. There's busy weekends. I mean, you can't drive anywhere on Long Island and not see a million kids, boys and girls, just taking over every inch of green space that we have on the island.
As Miranda Gibbons, a junior, that's had a breakout season, 6 goals and 2 assists after dominating a couple of years ago on the JV. And she is part of the reason why Smithtown West is felt like they've kind of made the next step forward. The great depth that they have, that, and they've also been really healthy. And they've been a program that traditionally has been one of those teams that had frequent injuries. They've been ravaged, particularly with some great teams in 2010 that they thought could have had a chance to topple the Northports of the world. But they never got there because many of their key players were on the sidelines rather than on the field. As here, it's Palazzolo, Victoria Lynn Palazzolo looking to sprint out Gibbons. Gibbons off the head, charging forward, and Gibbons met by Amanda Lentz, who did well just to bother her enough. And we're going to get a corner kick for the first time. And Ferber let it go. She wasn't sure if Lentz touched it last or Gibbons.
I think that's exactly right. And here you see the ball's going out. Now, you know, instead of just giving it a boot, picking up whatever you need to do, deciding that I'm just going to let it go out of bounds and see who gets the ball.
Ball driven all the way across. Stepping in to the play is Chelsea D'Antona, and looked inside for a potential header that is sent wide by Juliana Cabello. and it will go back to Ferber with about 5 minutes and change gone into this first half. So for Rob Stretzmeyer, he had all those thoughts, but I found the most fascinating thing about his program is, first I had to ask him, have you played the minimum number of games or the maximum number of games, or are some box scores missing? And he said no, they only end up playing 13 of a maximum 16 allotted games. And you say to yourself, well, what happened? Did you have rainouts or something like that? But by design this season, Smithtown West, with a veteran team back that had a great summer, they chose to limit the wear and tear on these players by playing less games. They did add a couple of scrimmages, but those are not the same, as here is Bolero outside off the chest. Christina Bolero looking to drive it across. And Bolero will turn. They're taking the shot, fading away, and Cascone had to come up with a stop.
That was a nice individual effort there by Bolero, but unfortunately, the defense closed in on her real quick. When she made the spin move, I think Bolero actually had a few more steps that she could get in there, Ralph, but was recognizing all the pressure and said, let me just try to get something off here.
Ball ahead for Sharika. And she pressures into the corner. Gabby Sharika able to win it. Now looks for a cross. Ferber the back end, and they almost got it to Miranda Gibbons, who did have some space between her and the defender. Again, Gabby Sharika having a fantastic season. The senior headed to Buffalo.
Well, she's showing you right here and now why she's going to be playing at the next level. This is a great save right here. And then a left-footed kick, just missing the player. Again, that should be 2-0 Smithtown if those other players are understanding what Sharika's doing out there. She's a step ahead of everybody. Here you see on the other end Bolero trying to get her team on the board early. Just doesn't, pick a corner on that one.
Throwing coming up for Smith West just to finish the earlier points. So just 13 games that Smithtown West will play in the regular season. So a very interesting experiment put together by Rob Stretzmeyer, and having some thoughts about maybe doing it again in the future to limit the wear and tear on his girls that, as you mentioned, Tracy, do play year-round anyway. He is trying to limit the wear and tear that they have for the Smithtown West Bulls program.
Well, and you have to. They start in August, September. Now we're into October. You're hoping to play into November. There's going to be no off days. Once the playoffs start, there does not have to be a day of rest any longer. So these girls could go 7 days a week by rule. That's kind of what you're looking for. You don't want them to be tired. You don't want them to be beat up. I mean, understandably, competition is not a horrible thing, but I think that these girls understand it. And we do the same thing. Towards the end of the season, we really take the foot off the gas. Just when you think you should be putting it on, we'll give our girls a day or two off. We'll do a practice in the pool we'll do a intra-squad kind of fun day where there's a theme going on and they compete against each other in random things that have basically nothing to do with the sport of lacrosse. You try to do anything just to relieve the stress of what they've been doing every day for 12 weeks.
Hills East to get it in on the throw-in, and Sharika will box out her defender and motor ahead and out wait for support. And a lot of patience over the ball. We'll switch to point of attack here to Miranda Gibbons, who's been active here early. And it'll find its way to Alexa Sheridan. This is senior Kaylee Crockett to try to drive it in. And in the middle, trying to bring that ball in, Julianne Spano at forward for Hills East. And here is Spano, who scored a wonderful goal that we saw against Connecticut, her first career varsity goal. As this one played ahead to the outside, and that's Lisa DiNardo for Hills East, playing in her final game in a Thunderbird uniform, quickly throwing it in. And Bolero will chip it into space. So for the Bulls, the plan is to be ready for playoff competition after this one.